Well, hello again. Welcome to my next episode. This is number 4. I've done 3 complete ones already, and I'm going to continue doing these till, I get maybe tired or run out of stuff to talk about. But I'm pretty old, so I can see it taking a long time for I can be able to shut up as long as I want to talk. In the past, the first quarter, I always talk about me when I was young and stuff like this, and different things that happen with family. I've talked about, like, my wife, Mary, my babe, wearing my hat, this hat, because she likes this hat, by the way. She says, it makes me look very attractive, but I know the truth. It actually makes me look like this one guy from Sons of Anarchy. She's told me herself, so I'm like, okay, I'll take it. It's kind of a sideways compliment, but I'll take it. But anyway, I then went about her, my grandmother's, my mom, and now I'm going to talk about my kids. And there's so much stuff to say, so it's kind of hard to pick something. Oh, it's not really. It's more like if you're going to think about something, about one of the kids. I got 3 kids. Which one's the one pops out first? Okay, and I'm going to start with the oldest, my son Gilberto. I love the piss out of him. What sticks out in my head, when he was about 6 or 7, we lived in this place called Area C. And it was like apartments, but kind of horseshoe type. So you had these 2 buildings like this, and one over here. And they had this big ass square, probably about 1/8 of a mile of sidewalk. And what I remember about him, I bought him a big wheel. And I was out there with him when he got on it. And he was hauling ass in this square, just boom, boom. And every time he'd fly by me, because I was by the corners, he'd fly by it, and that trike could get up on 2 wheels. He'd go, just fly around this thing. I was like thinking, man, I wish they had those big wheels when I was a kid, because we didn't have nothing like that. I don't know when they made them, but as soon as I saw those things, I was like, God, this is a kid's dream right here. Because they got those plastic tires, hard plastic tires, and it's 3 wheels, so it's pretty stable. It's real low, so you can't hardly flip it over. And the fact that you got those plastic wheels, you can haul ass, turn the steering wheel, and you'll slide sideways, really cool. But that's what I remember about him when he had that Hot Wheel, and I bought it for him. God, it was fucking crazy. It was really cool. Oh, and next one I'm talking about is my daughter, Melody. First one, my son Gilberto. And got a lot of stories about her. Excuse me. Well, the one I want to talk about is when she was, I guess about maybe 7, I think, right? And well, I'm pretty sure she was 7 because I just kind of looked it up, kinda. Because the story is about the leap year, and we were sitting around, not doing much, and she's going to be 7. Actually, she's going to be 7. And I say, because it's leap year, I look at her and I go, Melody, if you were born today, in 4 years you would be 1, in 4 more years you would be 2, in 4 more years you would be 3, because, leap year only comes every 4 years. And she gets this really puzzled look on her face, right? And I'm kind of grinning at her. And she looks at me real seriously, goes, God, Dad, you die before you get out of school. I just cracked up. I couldn't believe she said that. It was like the way she saw it. Since you're 6, 4 years straight, you got to stay in first grade 4 years, in second grade 4 years, and so on and so on. I sat down and figured it out one time as to how old you would be when you graduated out of high school. I forgot what it was. I should have looked it up. But you can do it yourself. All you got to do is just do the math. But that was a pretty cool story about her. Okay, my last story is going to be my youngest son Lee. And this one is one that of all the kids, this one's the one I remember the best because it's the worst. When he was tiny, I guess, 6 months, maybe less, I guess. You know, we lived in Utah, and I used to be in the military, of course, right? And I get home, and first thing I would do when I get home, I would take my uniform off and get into something comfortable, right? So I got home this one day, and I go to the bedroom. I didn't see Mary. She must have been doing something, but I just walked in the house, went straight to the bedroom, and the bed was kind of unmade, which is, you know, odd, but it happens. Most times she'd always make it, but once in a while it is like that, so it's no big deal. So anyway, I took my shirt off and threw it off to the side, and undid my pants, and I'm on the bed, and I sit down to pull my pants off, and right as I hit the bed, I hear this really loud oof, and I was like, fuck, and I just jumped up, and I looked down, and Mary left the baby wrapped up in the blankets. I didn't see him, so I sat on him, knocked all the air out of him, and I looked at him, and I was like, holy shit, and I picked him up, and his arms were out like this, and his mouth was wide open like this, like he wanted to scream, but he couldn't scream, and he was starting to turn, pushing his little stomach in and stuff, trying to get him to do something. And finally he just goes, ah! Loudest screams I ever heard a little kid make, man. He was a tiny little sucker too, and I was like, as soon as he screamed, I had mixed emotions. I wanted to laugh so much because it looked so funny, but I was so relieved at the same time because, you know, now he's breathing when he's showing something, you know, but it was so surreal. It was so surreal, and so I hold him and, you know, hug him and talk to him, and he kind of calms down, and kind of looking at the little baby, Lee, and I'm thinking, wow, can you imagine laying there and seeing this monster-sized ass coming at you, just going right on you. Poor little kid. Well, he's okay though. Okay, that's 3 stories. That is the end of the first quarter, so I'm going to go to the second quarter now and tell a story that has to do with military. Like the first part, I like to tell about me, just regular stuff and family, whatever. And then the second one, I like to talk about the military. Since I spent 24 years in the military, I've got some funny stories about that. So I'll talk about that next. See you in a few.